Hi again, year one. Remember, just like normal, we need something to write with and something to write on. So if you don't have those things, please go and get them so that you can join in with the lesson. Our learning objective today is to know how to use a story S to plan my new story. We're going to be planning a story today. So our success criteria is to identify the events in the story, to explore making changes to the story, and to apply my new character from yesterday's lesson. First of all, I want you to have a look at these pictures. And I want you to think, what is the order of the story? So are these pictures in the correct order? If not, then can you put them in the correct order? So pause the video and decide which order they should go in. Brilliant. So the first picture is when Jack's mum throws the beans out of the window. The second picture is when Jack climbs up the beanstalk. And the third picture should be when Jack finds the magic harp. That is the correct order of the story. And again, look at these pictures and decide, are they in the correct order? If not, I would like you to put them in the correct order. So decide which one should be first, which picture should go second, and which picture should be the last one. Pause the video and have a look and a think. Brilliant. So the first picture should be when Jack gets the magic beans when he sold the cow. The second picture should be when the giant is counting his golden eggs. And the last picture should be when Jack is cutting down the beanstalk with his axe. So what happens in the beginning of our story? Have a think about our story of Jack and the beanstalk. What happens in the beginning? Is it number 1, Jack cuts down the beanstalk? Number 2, Jack sells the cow at the market? Or is it number 3, Jack meets the giant? Pause the video and you can write down which one you think it is. Brilliant, well done. At the beginning of our story, Jack sells the cow at the market. What happens in the middle of our story? Is it that Jack cuts down the beanstalk? Is it that Jack's mother throws the beans out of the window? Or is it that Jack meets the giant at the top of the beanstalk? Pause the video and write down which one it is. Fantastic. It's when Jack meets the giant at the top of the beanstalk. And then what happens at the end of our story? Is it that Jack finds a magic hen? Jack's mother tells Jack to sell the cow, or is it that Jack cuts down the beanstalk? Remember the ending of our story. Pause the video, have a think and write down which one it is. Well done. At the end of our story, Jack cuts down the beanstalk with a sharp axe. So what is a story S? A story S is what we use to plan the structure of a story. It helps us to know who the characters are and what happens in the beginning, middle and end of the story. You may remember we have used these before when we have been writing other stories. And here you can see a story S from a story that we have read before. Have a look at the story S and I want you to think, what story is it from? Look carefully at each part. Well done. This story S is for Where's My Teddy? You can see what's happening along the way from the start to the middle and to the end. So it really helps to show what's happening in the story. A story S is what we use to plan the structure of a story. It helps us to know who the characters are and what happens in the beginning, the middle and the end of our story. Have a look at this one now. What story is this one from? Look at what's happening at the start, the middle and the end and have a look to see who the characters are in the story to help you. Pause the video and write down what story this story S is for. Well done, it's for Peace at Last. You can tell from the characters in the story that it's from Peace at Last. So again, what is a story S? A story S is what we use to plan the structure of a story. It helps us to know who the characters are and what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Have a look at this one now. This story S is telling us a story, but what story is this for? Pause the video, look carefully at the story S and write down what story it is for. Brilliant, it's for the Frog Princess. You can tell from the characters in the story and what is happening along the way. So I want you to say this with me now. A story S is what we use to plan the structure of a story. It helps us to know who the characters are and what happens in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So this is my story S for the story with my new character Jill. Because my story is now called Jill and the Beanstalk because I'm using the character that I created yesterday, and she is now my main character instead of Jack. I want you to use my story S, which is in your home learning pack, to help you create your own story S. But remember, you're going to include your new character that you created in yesterday's lesson. The rest of the story stays the same, but the main character, is going to be different. So Jack's not going to be in our story anymore. It's going to be your new character now. This is going to be a little challenge before you go off to start your learning. I want you to have a look at the story S and think, what part of the story is missing? Can you work out? Have a look at what's happening before and after. Well done. It's the part where the giant has his golden harp and he's saying fee, fi, fo, fum. Okay, so I can't wait to see your new story S. Remember to think carefully about what is happening in the story. You can watch the video again to help remind you and draw and write as you're going along. But this time you're going to replace the main character Jack with your new character that you created yesterday. And this will help us for the rest of the week when we're going to be writing our story. I can't wait to see it. Good luck. Bye for now.